Good afternoon, everyone. In previous video, we were discussing about separation of substances. We discussed substances are two types: pure substance and mixture. Pure substance, the substance which are made up of only one kind of particles, are called the pure substance. Example: gold, silver, iron. And mixtures are made up of two or more different types of the particles, are called the mixture. Mixture are the two types. One is the homogeneous and second is the heterogeneous. Now we start this chapter, separation of substances. Separation of substances. This is the class 6th. Separation of the substances. Few substances are used in pure form, and hence separation of mixture is necessary. Why do we need separation? We need separation for it is necessary. Separation of mixture is necessary Why it is necessary? Why do we the separation? Number one, to remove, you have to get useful substances from mixture. Why do we need separation of substances? It is necessary to get useful substances, to obtain useful substances from the mixture. Second is to remove impurities or unwanted material. Unwanted materials from mixture, from the mixture. Clear it? Why do we need separation of mixture? For getting useful substances from the mixture and to remove impurities or unwanted materials from the mixture. Method of separation. Now we are using. How can we separate the things? Methods of separation. We are using the different methods to separating different materials. Let us learn about some of the method of separation. First of all, we discuss about hand picking. Hand picking. This is the method of separation. First of all, we discuss about the hand picking. Grains and pulses generally contains the small stones and other unwanted impurities. These need to be separated before cooking. Hand picking, I think you have seen your mother at home. She is picked out some small stones from pulses and rice. This process is called the hand picking. What is the hand picking? The process of removing impurities by hand is called hand picking. Clear definition? The process of removing impurities by hand. Your mother is removing the impurities from the pulses and rice. Have you seen? So the process of removing impurities by hand is called hand picking. There is no problem in definitions. Okay. So hand picking is the process of removing impurities by hand. Hand picking is done only when the quantity of a mixture is small and impurities in few in number. Impurities can be spotted. Impurities can be spotted due to their color, shape and size. Then you will do this hand picking. Okay, clear it? Hand picking, the process of removing impurities by hand is called hand picking. Second is sieving. Sieving is the component of a mixture are different of the shape and size separated by sieving. The smaller component passes through the pores of the sieve, and whereas the larger components remains on upper side of the sieves. Have you seen when your mother is sieving the floor? Some fine particles of the floor, they come down, and the large particles, they remain in the sieve. This method is still used in our homes to separate the bigger particles, wheat grain from the floor. I think this is not advisable, because when we sieve the floor, some fibers or some nutrients are left, that large particles, they are useful for our digestion. So it should be not used at home, but only you can remove the large impurities, any other impurities from the floor, you don't sieve it. Next is sedimentation and decantation. Should I rub this? Third one, we have discussed hand picking. We have discussed sieving, and now third one is sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation and decantation. The process of separating insoluble liquid. The process of separating insoluble solid components present in the liquid by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container is called the sedimentation. What is the definition? The process of separating insoluble solid components present in the liquid it is a lengthy definition. The process of separating insoluble solids components present in the liquid by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container is called sedimentation. There is no lengthy definition. First of all, you learn this, the process of separating insoluble solid components. Where they are present in the liquid, by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container is called the sedimentation. For example, you take a beaker, you take the water and put some soil inside it, mix it and leave this container undisturbed for some time. After some time you will see that soil settle at the bottom of a container. With the help of diagram we can learn this definition. The process of separating insoluble, because soil is the insoluble in water, the process of separating insoluble solid components where they are present in the liquid by allowing them to settle down. We are leave this for some times, that the settle is the heavier, then settle at soil is the heavier, it will settle at the bottom of the container. By allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container is called sedimentation. I think it is not clear. The process of separating insoluble solid components. First line is clear. Present in the liquid by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container is called sedimentation. Here there are the two things. One is the solid components that settle down at the bottom of a container is called the sediments. What we call these are called sediments. The solid particles, yes, solid components that settle at the bottom of a container, they are known as the sediments. And second is the liquid above the sediment is called the supinitant. The liquid that is known as the supinitant. So there are the two things. One is the solid particle that settle down at the bottom of the container, that is known as sediments, and the water above the sediments, that is known as the supinitant. Supinitant or sediments can be separated by the process of decantations. What is the process of decantation? The process of transferring the supinitant into the another beaker without disturbing the sediment is called the decantation. Should I rub? Okay, I'm writing here. The process of transferring from sediments without disturbing into another container is called decantation. Clear? The process of transferring. Now here the soil settle down at the bottom, and this is supernatant, and this is sediment. This supernatant that transfer from another container without disturbing into the another container. This process is called the decantation. Clear? We have discussed hand picking, sieving, sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation, the process of separating insoluble solid components present in liquid by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of a container, is called sedimentation. Decantation, the process of transferring clear water from the sediments into the without disturbing into the another container, is called the decantation.